If you're skinny fat, that means you're probably somewhere in between wanting to lose body fat and gain muscle, which means you're probably thinking to yourself, should I go on a bulk or should I go on a cut? But you kind of already know that if you go onto a cut, you're going to get smaller, skinnier, and lose more muscle. And then if you go into a bulk, you're probably going to make all those areas you dislike, like the love handles, the lower back, the moobs, all a bit bigger. So then it leads you to this point of, well, where do I start? So we're actually starting here right now. And if we try and do both exclusively at one go, then you're probably going to get nowhere. And then depending on which option you choose, that will massively dictate what kind of diet you're going to follow. Should you do keto? Should you do carnivore? Should you cut out carbs? Should you eat carbs? Are you eating a calorie surplus, a calorie deficit? How much cardio should you do? It can get quite confusing, and normally most men will get their diet completely wrong. What a lot of men do is they drop down their calories to 800 or 1200, which is way too low, way too soon, which means they're going to get no muscle gains and actually lose it. Or on the flip side, they just yeet their calories right up to 3,000, 4,000, and they end up just gaining a big belly and more of those side boobs. Now, I've helped over 160 plus men lose body fat and gain muscle and basically fix that skinny fat physique. So I want to show you the exact diet that we followed in order to achieve these results, and I'm going to try and make it simple and easy to understand. Okay, first things first, everyone has this. This is your maintenance calories. This is going to differ from person to person depending on how much they weigh, how old they are, how much muscle they have, and how much fat they have. But to make this video simple, we're just going to call this a 2,000 calorie maintenance target. So 2,000 is our maintenance. Let's say you go for a bulk and you go for 3,000, you're basically going to go up and you're going to start to gain body fat because the surplus is way too big, way too soon. If you're skinny fat, that's no good. Or you can drop your calories down to 1,000 calorie deficit, which is 1,000 calories total, which is going to cause muscle loss because you're now going way too low to sustain any lean muscle tissue. So 9 times out of 10, when someone starts coaching with me and they tell me what they've previously done, they're either eating way too much and not really paying attention to it, or they've just gone down to 800 calories, 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, done a bunch of cardio, and they're trying to lose body fat rapidly and quickly. They might lose a bit on the scales because the calories are less and the carbs are less, so you are going to weigh less, but they're not necessarily losing body fat. And then once they've sort of hit a plateau with that and they can't keep sustaining their body on 800 calories, they either binge and fall off and go backwards because it's unsustainable, or they just start to get very ill, lose a lot of muscle, and they can't really keep up with their training. So a massive surplus is not going to work for you, and a massive deficit is certainly not going to help you either. So the solution here is we want to aim for a small calorie deficit, something like a 500 calorie deficit or a 300 calorie deficit below your maintenance. Now, if I'm honest, these numbers are still quite low, so you probably would want to eat more, but this is just based on an average of 2,000 calories for maintenance. It's probably going to be a lot higher than that. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to give you a little bit more energy to train with, so you're not literally running on empty, but it also means you're achieving a 500 calorie deficit. And the reason a 500 calorie deficit is so ideal is it's just below your maintenance. It's a healthy amount. It will equate to roughly a pound of fat per week because 7 days of the week, 500 times 7, 3,500, which equates to 1 pound of fat. You can go and Google it and double check that if you want. You can lose a sustainable 1 pound of fat per week. Not just a pound on the scales, but a pound of fat. Then, if we're eating in a 500 calorie deficit, we want to make sure that our protein is high enough to keep and sustain and help recover and repair muscle. So if we're aiming for this smaller calorie deficit, we're still going to lose body fat, but we're also not going too low that we cross this threshold and start to go catabolic and lose muscle tissue. So you're losing body fat and keeping muscle. Now, to give some context to this is my client Reese, and this is exactly the process we followed. We just put his calories into a 500 calorie deficit. We increased the protein as high as possible that he could easily realistically stick to, at least 1 gram per pound of lean body weight, and then focus predominantly on strength training with minimal cardio. And that way he was able to lose body fat, but also still gain muscle. And this was done entirely in a calorie deficit. So can you gain muscle in a calorie deficit? Of course. Is it likely? Not really. It does depend on genetics and your starting point, but if you try and do both things at once, if you want to gain muscle and lose body fat at the same time, like extreme, like get massive and get shredded, you're chasing 2 rabbits, and if you chase 2 rabbits, you'll catch neither one. We focused on losing body fat predominantly, but because the calorie deficit was small and sustainable and his protein was significantly high, and we paired that with resistance training in the gym with some form of progressive overload, he was able to still gain a significant amount of muscle whilst being in a calorie deficit, essentially fixing the skinny fat physique. And this is just referred to as a recomposition. And to achieve a recomposition, we just want to eat a small calorie deficit with high protein. Now, you're probably watching this video going, well, okay, that's great, but how do I know my numbers? How do I know what to adjust? What protein should I hit? What training should I do, etc.? Now, I put together a free nutritional blueprint. A lot of people have already downloaded this. If you've downloaded it and not done it yet, actually have a look through it and stick to it. Now, this is going to show you how to work out your calories for free. It's in the bio down below. But it's also going to show you how to set your macro ratios, what percentage of protein, carbs, and fats, and then what to adjust over time and how to make sure that you're not going too low or staying at the same numbers for too long. This blueprint is the exact method I use to help work out my clients' calories when they get started. So in my opinion, this is the best diet to fix the skinny fat physique. You're not going too low on the calories that you're starving away and wasting muscle tissue, and you end up running on empty and just being a smaller version of skinny fat. But you're not trying to go on a bulk and trying to gain muscle when you've still got body fat you dislike, making yourself look worse before it gets better. And then also at the end of the bulk, you're gonna have a massive old cut waiting for you that's gonna take even longer than when you started. And you might even lose a lot of muscle doing that if you do it wrong. Or if you're stuck in that skinny fat physique, if you start with a recomposition, you're more likely to get best of both worlds. You'll be able to lose body fat sustainably without losing muscle. You'll be able to still get stronger, which also can help you increase your metabolic rate or your maintenance calories by the end of it. So once you've lost the body fat and you've gained a bit of strength and gained a bit of muscle, you can then reverse diet back up to realistic new maintenance numbers based on the muscle tissue you've added to your physique. So instead of starving yourself and going, bloody hell, I hope I can keep this, you're actually building your capacity, you're building your progress to do that. Now I wanted to make this video so it was a little bit clear and to the point, because this is the kind of thing that I wish I knew when I first started. It took me 7 years to realize that calories and macros were even a thing. It didn't matter how hard I was training, how much chicken, broccoli and rice I was having, how many pre-workouts, Ezekiel bread and L-glutamine and creatine I was taking. I didn't get anywhere until I got those calories right. So if you want to get results like my clients here, you can download the free nutritional blueprint. And if you want the exact one-to-one coaching and the same help that they had and help strategize your workout routine around your week, regardless of how busy you are and your experience levels, you can also book a call with me in the bio down below. If you like this video, hit like. And if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. And why not watch another video, right? This one's probably good, maybe, depending on what the algorithm chose. Yeah, that's all right, that one. Go and watch it. Yeah, you watched it? Cool, that's really good then.